And one of the things that this Omar Subedar is an expert about is how to treat women. He's a ladies' man, so to speak, an expert. He's got lots of lady advice, and he shares it with the men in his community. Here's some advice he wrote called Maintaining a Marriage. Maintaining a Marriage. Andrew Scheer's new friend starts off by explaining that in Islam, Allah has, and I quote, He has made the husband officially in charge of managing the relationship by saying men are in charge of women. And he says, Allah has given precedence to men over women. And he says, the wives, on the other hand, have an obligation to be obedient to their husbands. Now, maybe he's just being what we might call old-fashioned. I mean, no problem, right? I mean, obedience. I'm sure he doesn't mean in the way that a child has to be obedient or a pet has to be obedient, right? Well, let's let Omar Subedar speak for himself. He says, if for some reason the wife becomes stubborn, arrogant, or disobedient, even after the husband is doing his part, then Allah has introduced a 3-point dispute resolution plan. Oh, did you know that? The first, says Omar Subedar, is for the man to give his wife some advice, to sit her down and tell her the way things are going to go. But what if that doesn't go so well? Well, the second point in his 3-point plan is, and I quote, forsake them in bed. If the problem persists after exercising the first measure, then the husband should refrain from having sexual relations with her. I'm not making that up. Now, I'm not sure how many women watching my photo would think that refraining from relations with this fella is a punishment. But look, chacun a son goût. Everyone's got their taste. There's someone out there for each of us. Thank God. Look, I'm just joking around, but it's step 3 that is the real cause for worry. I mean, Omar Subedar going on a sex strike is one thing, but let me quote to you point 3. This is Andrew Scheer's new friend. So just to recap, step 1 to a disobedient wife is to give them advice, give them a lecture. Step 2 is to punish them by not having sex with them. But here's step 3, and I quote verbatim at length, so you'll see the whole context. This is Andrew Scheer's new friend, Omar Subedar, who says, strike them. If the problem still does not get resolved, then as a final resort, Allah has permitted the husband to discipline his wife by striking her. However, this does not imply that Allah is promoting domestic violence. The Prophet, praise be unto him, has made it very clear that the beating should not be agonizing in any shape or form. He mentioned in the sermon during his farewell pilgrimage, and hit them lightly. The objective of striking her lightly is to discipline her and to make her realize that what she is doing is unwarranted. So he's telling Canadians in English to beat their wives. Now he's clearly a moderate because he said, now don't make it agonizing, fellas. You just got to hit them lightly. You know, light punch. Don't break any bones, fellas. Just a light slap, okay? He actually goes on to recommend a foot-long, heavy stick. That's how they do it in the old country. But not agonizing, fellas, all right? I swear to God, this is what this guy's publishing. Here in Canada. Not back in Pakistan. Here in Canada, in English. It's what he does for a living. And he has thousands in his flock. His advice on how to handle women, strike them. Allah has permitted it. Just don't make it agonizing. Just hit her. She deserves it. Allah says. Now, like many Canadians, I have Muslim friends. Like most Canadians, I reject Islam, the religion. It's not incompatible to have Muslim friends, to like Muslims, to reject the religion. We do that with every religion. It's separation of church and state, separation of mosque and state. In fact, many Muslims come to Canada themselves to get away from Sharia law and to get away from Muslim imams who tell men that it's okay to beat their wives. Now, of course, Justin Trudeau loves this guy, and the feeling is mutual. But Andrew Scheer, Does he know who Omar Subedar is and what his views on wife beating are? That's an excerpt from the Ezra Levant show. Every day I do a video monologue and then I interview an interesting guest and then I end by reading my hate mail. But you've got to subscribe to it, which you can do at therebel.media/shows.